Hi guys, you're welcome to Allogenous Ideas. So in this video, I'm going to be solving the week 2 tasks for the Part 2 Python Fundamentals weekly exercise. So without wasting much of our time, let us get into it. So for this first question, write a program that will confirm if a number is even or odd. Very simple question. For us to confirm if a number is even or odd, if the number is divisible by 2 without a remainder, then it is even. If you divide the number by 2 and you have a remainder, then obviously it is an odd number. So let's just get right into it. So solving this particular problem, you say let's number, you create a variable equals to maybe 5 or something, any number at all. Then you say if the number modulus 2, in arithmetic operators, modulus takes the remainder of the division. So for example, if you have something like 10 modulus 3, normally if you want to divide 10 by 3, 10 divided by 3 will give you 3 remainder 1 normally. So modulus is going to be taking the remainder, which is 1. So if you divide the number by 2 and the remainder is not equal to 0, then it is odd. But if it is 0, then print, I can use formatted string to show my output, number is even. Okay, so else number is odd. No, 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 no. What am I doing? So I can just copy this, copy, then paste it. Number is odd. So number is even the number. Okay, very good. So if I should run this, you see 5 is odd. Very straightforward. So what if this is 4, for example? You see 4 is even. So that solves the question, the exercise rather. So for this other one, for the second one, write a Python program that will find out if a number is divisible by 7 and a multiple of 5. Very simple. And the number entered by the user must be between 1500 and 2700, both of them included. So just copy the whole of this. I can use a multi-line string for this one, just to paste everything. I like all the all the characters to be within the view. Okay, so write a Python program that will find out if a number is divisible by 7 and a multiple of 5. Very simple. For it to be divisible by 7, it has to be a multiple of 7. For it to be a multiple of 5, the same thing. So, and the number will be entered by the user, and the number entered by the user must be between 1500 and 2700. So let me just say number equal to int, come here, input, enter a number. Okay, so input, enter a number. So at this point now, the number that the user will be giving to me have been converted to an integer. So the next thing I want to do now is to do my check. um, the first check I want to do is to ensure that I'll be using a nested if for this problem. So it must be between 1500 and 2700. Okay, so for this 1500, I will say, and don't forget that both 1500 and 2700 are included, so both included. So if the number that the user entered is less than 1500, or the number is greater than 2700, what I want you to do is to print a formatted string saying that the number entered by the user is out of range. On the other hand, else. Now I'll now come and check if the number is divisible by 7 and also a multiple of 5. If number modulus 7 equal to 0 and number modulus 5 equal to 0, guess what? I'll print a formatted string saying that the number is a multiple of what again? Is a multiple of 5 and 7, else number, no, I can just, well, I want to stick to the question, so the exercise rather. So let me just copy what they gave me here. So is neither a multiple of, okay, it might be a multiple of 5 but not a multiple of 7. So okay, let me say it's not a multiple of 5, it's not a multiple of 5 and is not divisible by 7, and that is it, by 7, and that is it. So the first check I want to do is if number is 20, for example, it is out of range below 1500. Running it again, if number is above 2700, say 3000, so 3000 is out of range. Okay, so 3000 is out of range exactly. So how do I check if a number within range? So let me say 2000, for example. Run it 2000. It's not a multiple of 5 as it's not divisible by 7, but I think 1750 should work because 1750 is a multiple of 5 and a multiple of 7, you can see. So that solves it. That solves it. Write a Python program to convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit. From Celsius to Fahrenheit. So let me look for a formula. Let me look for a formula I can use to get this. Formula to convert. I have to convert here. Okay, so I'm looking for something I can copy. Okay, so this is a formula over here. Let me actually do a bit of explanation here. So um, very good, very good, very good. Let me use this. Let me use this. So in the course, I explained how you can convert mathematical formulas like this into what Python can execute. You cannot type this into Python. Python will not take it from you. Python cannot take this from you. But what you can do is you can write everything in a format that Python will understand. For example, for us to convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit, we will say 9 over 5 multiplied by the temperature in Celsius, everything plus 32. So um, if you the way you can write this out is what they did somewhere here. You can see 9 over 5 times 0 degrees Celsius, which is the value of this Celsius, plus 32 equals to 32 degree Fahrenheit. So let's just let's just copy this one and go away. So if I copy this, come here, let me make a comment. Okay, so I can say the temp in Celsius equal to, let me copy this. So, but this will be a float because temperature is something you can measure, you cannot count it. So it is not a whole number. You have to represent it as a float. So this float constructor will accept whatever the user enters as input and it will convert it to a float. It will convert it to a float. So enter temperature in Celsius. Okay, enter temperature in Celsius. So float input, enter temperature in Celsius. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is, let me say, temperature in Fahrenheit equal to anything the user, first of all open a bracket. I'm trying to follow up this formula now. I'm trying to follow up this formula. So anything the user temp supplies as the temperature in Fahrenheit, in Celsius rather, multiplied by 9 divided by 5 plus 32, and that is it. So I can just say output equal to, I'll just use a formatted string. I love to use formatted strings. It makes it easy for you to inject dynamic data into a string. So what I want to do here is temp, or let me say the Celsius, or let me say it should be the Fahrenheit equivalent of temp C degrees Celsius is temp F. It makes it more descriptive, so you print the output now. You print the output, okay? So if I should run this and I supply 0 degrees Celsius, you see it is giving me 32 degrees Fahrenheit. If you come to this formula over here now, 0 degrees Celsius according to Google is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So if I should say maybe 55 degrees Celsius, the Fahrenheit equivalent is what? 131. So let us test our program. So 55 degrees Celsius, you can see 131 degrees, so it is working just fine. Now the next one is to convert from Fahrenheit to Celsius. So copy from Fahrenheit to Celsius. So let me just steal this one. Actually, I want to steal everything. Copy this and paste it here. Okay. So temperature. Okay. So this will be temperature in Fahrenheit. Enter a temperature in Fahrenheit. Okay. So instead of this, I might actually decide to use a tab spacing. So let me just start using it now. So float input, enter a temperature in Fahrenheit. Um, temperature in Celsius. So if you come back to the formula that we have over here, you can see the converting Fahrenheit to Celsius, Fahrenheit to Celsius, which is what we want to do. So you can just say TC, which is the temperature in Celsius, which is what we want to achieve over here, temperature in Celsius, equal to 5 over 9. So let's just start with the 5 over 9. Let me take this one out. 5 divided by 9, then T in Fahrenheit minus 32. Let me wrap this one. 5 over 9 T in Fahrenheit minus 32 multiplied by temp Fahrenheit minus 32 minus 32. So the Celsius equivalent of temp F degrees Fahrenheit is what we get as our degrees Celsius. Okay, let's run this first. Temperature in Fahrenheit, if I have 32, it should give me 0 degrees Celsius. Okay, so and see the Celsius that we did over here. If I supply 131, it should give me temperature in Fahrenheit. Okay, if I do 131, it should give me 55 degrees Celsius. 131, you can see 55 degrees Celsius. So works fine. To write a Python program that will accept a word from the user, the program will swap the first and the last character of the word. The first character of the resulting string must be an uppercase, while the last character of the resulting string must be a lowercase character. Okay, so copy this, come here, let me use, okay, okay. So moving on, let me say word equal to input. I'm trying to accept input from the user now. Enter a, no, enter a word rather. Enter a word. Let me use a tab spacing. So after entering the word, I want to save the first character. So I will say word indexing the first, the character at the first index basically. So this will return the first character. So the last character, last equal to word indexing -1, which is the last character. So I can now say my output equal to, don't forget I'm swapping the first and the last character. So obviously the last character will become the first and it has to be an uppercase. So I'll say last dot upper plus all the items in the middle, all the characters excluding the first character and the last character. So I can index it by saying word indexing. I'm going to be doing string slicing here, 1 comma -1. So it will start from the first character, then it will stop at the last character excluding the last character. So plus first, so the last character of the resulting string, which is the first character of the old string, must be a lowercase character. So I have to say dot lower. So print output. So if I should run this and I give a word like Lagos, I'm having string indices must be integers. I must have, okay, this should be, it shouldn't be a comma, it should be colon. I'm sorry about that. It should be colon. Lagos. Okay, you can see Lagos is working just fine. So let's try another word. Say university. You see the U is coming to the last character. It's in lowercase. Then the last character, which is Y, is coming to the beginning, and everything is working just fine. So moving on, write a Python program that will accept an alphabet from the user. The program should tell the user if the character is a vowel or a consonant. It should be a vowel, a consonant, or a number. Sorry about that. A vowel, a consonant, or a number, or a digit rather. Well, let's keep it simple. A vowel or a consonant. So a vowel or a consonant, since that is what the original question says. Copy this, then let me use this as well. So it will accept a character. So let me say char equals to input, enter a character. Okay, enter a character. So let me just put some spacing. Then before accepting the input from the user, I want to do something. What I want to do is to create a bit of manifest or something. So I'll say vowels equal to A E I O U, or A E I O U. Then consonants equal to B C D, B C D F G H J K L M N P Q R S T V W X Y and Z. So, but you can see capital letter and small letter, so I can just say consonant plus equal to consonant dot upper. So basically it will create this string again, then append it to this string. Let me show you what consonant is. If I run that line of code, let me show you what consonant is. So print consonant, run it. You can see the lowercase and the uppercase. So now we are at liberty to do what we want to do. Enter a character. So basically, if character in vowels, this in operator is a membership operator. Is a membership operator. So if character in vowels, you say char. No, you print a formatted string char is a vowel. Else, else if the character, no, there's nothing like character. Or since I want to say character, let me just use character as the original variable here. Equal to input, enter a character. Okay, if character in vowels, print character is a vowel. Else if character is in consonants, then print formatted string character is a consonant. I have to update this one too. Character is a consonant, else print f character is neither a vowel nor a consonant. Okay, so if I run this, it should be elif. It should be elif. I've been writing too much of PHP these days. It should be elif. Shift enter. So enter a character. What character do I want to enter? Say G. G is a consonant. If I should run it again, then say Ish. E is a vowel. Let me say capital letter E. E is a vowel. So the problem is solved. Write a program that will accept a number from the user, then print fees if it's a multiple of 3, buzz if it's a multiple of 5, then print fees buzz if it's a multiple of 3 and 5. A multiple of 3 and 5 will be a multiple of 15 on the long run, I guess. So, okay, okay, so very good. So, moving on, write a Python program that will accept a number from the user, then print fees if it's a multiple of 3. So, we are accepting a number from the user first. So, number equal to int input, enter a number. We are assuming that the user will be wise enough to enter a number, because it might enter a character here, the program will throw up. But this is a beginner exercise, so I won't expect you to take all those into consideration. So in input, enter a number, put some spacing, then you will now start your conditional statement. If number is a multiple of 3, so percentage 3 modulus 3 rather equal to 0, print fees. Else if number percentage 5 equal to 0, print buzz. So for one reason, I will want to test for multiple of 3 and 5 first before testing for individual before testing for 3 and 5 individually. The reason is because if I should bring the test for 3 and 5 over here, so 3 equal to 0 and number modulus 5 equal to 0, print freeze buzz. Now if it is 15, for example, 15 is a multiple of 3 and 5, so it's a multiple of 3 and also a multiple of 5, so all the three conditions are correct, but it is supposed to execute for only one of them. And as soon as he executes for one, it will break out of the conditional statement. So it is only wise for us to put this at the top. So if it is a multiple of 3 and 5, you execute for 3 and 5, so you just go your way after executing that one. So come here, then you say elif. So I don't have any other thing I want to test for. Okay, so the problem didn't ask me to do any other thing, so let me just leave that for now. Normally I want to say else the number you entered is neither a multiple of 3 nor a multiple of 5. That is what I want to do, but since the problem didn't ask me to do that, I'll just skip it. So run this 4, it will not do anything. If I run this and I put in 9, it's a multiple of 3, so it will say fees. If I put in 10, it's a multiple of 5, so I'm expecting buzz. So if I put in 30, you see fees buzz because it's a multiple of both 3 and 5, so solves that. Write a Python program to print the alphabet E. Very easy. So very easy. So I want to print the alphabet E. I can decide to use any character I want, but I will use the star. So print, let me see, e, no, let me say print star multiplied by 10. So let me show you what this will print for me. You can see star in 10 places. So print, well, let me use a for loop for I in range, let me say 5, print this character for me. So if I should run this, you see what it is printing for me already. So I'll come and print this one again. So basically, if I should run this, you see my E is almost complete. So if I should copy this and bring it here again, if I run it again, you see my E is complete. So this is, there are so many ways to print your E, but I believe this is short. This is short. So this first line over here is what is responsible for this. So this for loop over here is responsible for printing all this. So this is responsible for printing this. Then this other loop over here is responsible for all these other ones. Then the last line is responsible for printing this one. Okay, so we move on. I think there's one other character I have to print. The alphabet L, very simple. I'll just use the scope I used for the other one too. So um okay, I think this is what I need. No, this is what I need. So this will first print this line, then the for loop is going to print this one, but since it is an L, I want to make this way longer. So let me say 10. Then this one will be maybe, let me just leave it as 10 like that. So if I should run it, you see my letter L. You see my letter L. So solve that. Solves that rather. Write a Python program to sum two integers. However, if the sum of the two of if the sum is between 15 and 20, you should return 20. Okay. So let me say I have to copy it. So a Python program that will sum two integers. Let me say x equal to 6, then y equal to 10 or something. So if the sum, which is, let me say sum, this is not necessary. Okay. Now you can see sum is a keyword, so I can't use sum. I can say z, for example, equal to x plus y. Z equal to x plus y. Then what am I doing next? Now if y is greater than or equal to 15 and y is less than or equal to 20, according to the problem we are supposed to print 20, else just print y, print z rather. If you look at what I have over here, if the sum is between 15 and 20, it will return 20. You understand, right? To sum two integers. So if it is not returning 20, then it will just give us the sum of the two integers. So if I should, you can see it's giving me 16. um, 16 is greater than or equal to 15, and 16 is less than or equal to 20. There's a mistake somewhere here. Mm, no, 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 no. This should be Z. This should be Z. This should be Z, not Y. Don't forget, it is the sum that we are trying to compare. The sum must be between 15 and 20. So if I should run this, you see, it's giving me 20. But if this is something like 3, so that will be 13. It will just return the 13. So that is that about that. Okay, write a Python program to check if a triangle is equilateral, isosceles, or scaling. Now note the following. An equilateral triangle is a triangle where all the three sides are equal. A scaling triangle is a triangle that has three unequal sides. An isosceles triangle is a triangle with at least two equal sides. Okay, so a triangle has three sides basically. A triangle has three sides. So we might have something like let me copy the problem. So copy the problem. Make it now. Since we are talking about three sides, I can say side A equal to say 5, side B equal to maybe 7, side C equal to 5 or something. The exercise didn't specify if we are supposed to accept the input from the user, so that is why I'm just fixing in my own values. But if you are the exercise mandates you to accept the input from the user, so you should be doing something like float input. So just like I did over here. Where is it? So instead of input, it will be float input because length cannot be counted. Length can only be measured. You understand? Please, you need to take notes. If you can count something, then it is an integer. If you cannot count it, it is not an integer. So it is a float. Moving on, let us test if it is an equilateral triangle. So for us to test, side A must be equal to side B, side A must be equal to side C, and side B must be equal to side C for it to be an equilateral triangle. So, and a triangle cannot be the three of them at the same time. Okay, no, a triangle can be a scaling and isosceles. Okay, at least two of them are equal. So in this case now, no, none of them can be a triangle cannot be a scaling and equilateral and isosceles at the same time. So it's not possible. So moving on, let me test for equilateral. So I'll say if side A equal to side B and side B equal to side C and side C equal to side A. Okay, so A and B, B and C, C and A. So then print it is an equilateral triangle. So this is me testing for an equilateral triangle. So the next thing I want to test for is a scaling triangle. It has three unequal sides. None of the sides are equal. None of the sides are equal. So I can now say elif. Now if side A equal to side B and side B equal to side C and side C equals to side A, there's actually a shorter way to write this. I can do something like side A equal to side B equal to side C. If side A equal to side B equal to side C, then it's an equilateral triangle. Then if side A equal to side B or side B equal to side C or side C equal to side A, then this is going to be an isosceles triangle. At least two of them are equal. Moving on, side A equal to side B or side B equal to side C or side C equals to side A. That's an isosceles triangle. Okay. So any other thing apart from this is a scaling triangle. A scaling triangle. So for this first test, we are testing for equilateral. So this is test for isosceles. Then this is test for scaling. Test for scaling. Now, to move on, we do our tests. So this is supposed to be an isosceles triangle. Yes, so if I make everything to be 5, an equilateral triangle. So if this is 4 and this is 3, you see a scaling triangle. So we are done with that one. Write a Python program to create the multiplication table from 1 to 10 of a particular number entered by the user. This is very easy. So moving on, of any number entered by the user. So we are telling the user to number equal to input, enter a number, put some spacing. Then after this, what do I want to do? I will say for I in range, I want to start from 1 and stop at 10, so I'll say 11. Print, come with my formatted string. Then you say number times I equal to number times I. If I should run this and the user gives me 6, for example, 6, you see 6 times 1 up to 10. Run this again, I might have something like 8. You see it's giving me up to 10. If I should say 3, for example, you see it's giving me 3 times the 3 times table. So we move on. 13. Write a program to type hello if the number entered by the user is a multiple of, otherwise print goodbye. This problem is faulty. Let's say a multiple of 4, just so we have something to solve. Copy, come back here. So write a program to type hello if the number entered by the user is a multiple of 4, otherwise type by. So let me say, let me copy all of this. So if the number modulus 4 equal to 0, print hello. Those are three else print by. Run the program. If I put in 4, it gives me hello. If I put in 7, 8, it gives me hello. But if I enter maybe 7, it gives me bye. So that is that about that exercise. Write a program that will accept a number from the user, then display the first and the last digit of the number. Okay. So okay. So write a program that will accept a number from the user, then the program will display the first and the last digit of the number. So to solve this problem, we will be I'll be needing this. So this line is going to be accepting the input from the user. I can directly get the last number. I can get the last digit rather directly by finding the modulus of the number. For example, if I want to find the last digit of 102, I can just find the modulus. Then you see, it will give me 2. Modulus 10, it will give me 2. If I have, even if this is 143, 132 rather, it will give me the 2. If this is 133, it will give me 3. Even if this is 130, it will give me 0. So I can say the last equal to number modulus 10. So the last digit is settled. Now, to get the first digit, I have to do a bit of chopping. So if I have like all these, no, these are alphabets. If I have all these digits, for example, I have to look for a way I can chop this one out, chop this one out, chop, 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 till I chop everything. Then it will be remaining only the first digit. So that is what I'm going to do. Now, how will I do that? I'll be using a while loop to while the number, as in, for example, while this number that was compact initially, while the number is um above or equal to 10, what I want you to do is to say number. Now, this is the condition of the loop. Now, the line of code that is going to be doing the chopping for me, like to be chopping out the all the digits. So it's number equal to number. Then I'll use integer division 10. So for example, if I say 10, it will give me 13. No, 13. No, I'm using the should be this. Yes, this is an escape character. So you can see I have 13. What if I have 13 over here and I run it again? You see it's giving me 1. So regularly. So since this is in a loop, as soon as the number is less than 10, you know that that is the first number, obviously. So come here and print the output. You say print, going straight forward, first digit equal to first, then last digit equal to last. No, let me just say number. No, number is supposed to be the first digit. What is left of number? Well, this one is supposed to be last. So, but I have to bring in my formatted string, the f. So I should run this and I have 1004, for example. You see, I have my 1 and I have my 4. So If I have something like 4, the first is 4 and the last is 4. So if I say 51, you see the first is 5 and the last is 1. So we are good to go with that. The next one, write a Python program that will accept percentage score from the user, then display the grade according to the following criteria. So this is the criteria over here. Um, Copy the whole of this, come here. So this is a multi-line comment. Okay, so that will accept percentage score from the user. So let me just copy this. First thing I want to do is to accept the score, to enter the percentage score. But the score is a float. I want to treat it as a float. It can be an integer too, whichever way you want to do it. So it is asking me to test for the grade. If it is more than 100, display error. So if score is above 100, print score, print error. Elif. So between 90 and 100, A3, between 80 and 90, A2. Okay, so if you study all these conditions very very well, they follow each other sequentially. You understand? And the way a for loop works, as soon as it encounters a particular case where the condition is true, then automatically it will break out of the whole conditional loop. So what I will do here is I will say elif score greater than 90, print A3. A3 rather. So print A3. Between 90 and 100 is A3. So obviously if this is not true, as soon as he encounters this one and this one is true, it will break out of the whole conditional statement. But since if this is not true, it will automatically come to this line. It will automatically come to this line. So I should say greater than or equal to, because the ranges are exclusive. So greater than or equal to 90, it will print A3. So for the second one, A2, greater than or equal to 80. A2. So between 70 and 80. So I can just say above 70, A1. Let me copy this. Above 70, A1. So between 65 and 70, B2. So above 65 is B2. 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 So above 60 is B1. B1. So above 45 is D. Above 40, E. So below 40 is what? To fiakwa. Or I can just say else here. I can just say else. To fiakwa. So if you give me a negative score here, I don't know how possible it is. But anything below 40 you give to me, it will just print this. So let's use a loop to test to write the driver code. So I can say scores equal to maybe, I'm just trying to write what I will use to test it. A list of maybe 23, 87, 29, no, let me say 49. Oh, I can't use a list here because it's not a function, so I just have to run it manually. So the percentage score 65, for example, is giving me B2. Where is B2? B2 65 and 70. Yes, it will give me B2 is greater than or equal to. So let me say 85. It's supposed to give me A2. 85 is giving me A2, so that is correct as well. So we move on. We move on. Write a Python program that will accept the cost of a bike, then calculate the amount to be paid as a tax rather, based on the following criteria. So the bound of the ranges are exclusive. The upper bound rather. We made a mistake in this one. The upper bound of the ranges are exclusive. So okay, it's correct. It's correct. The upper bound of the ranges are exclusive. So okay, this is where we are. Come here. Now we move on to collect the cost. So we are collecting the cost of the bike. So cost. Cost is going to be a float. So enter the costs. So we can say tax equal to 0 first. So I will now say between 80 and more than this is what? 23.5%. So if the cost is more than 100,000, then the tax is going to be the cost multiplied by 23.5 divided by 100. Elif, if it is between 80, so we can just do the same thing we did here. You can see the upper bounds are exclusive, so we can just go with this. If it is greater than or equal to 80, um 80,000, then the tax will equal costs multiplied by 20.05 divided by 100. So the next one is 60k, and 60k, the percentage is 18.5. 18.5. 18.5. So above 40,000. 15.75. 15.75. 15.75. Then 12.5 for if it is above 10,000. 10,000. Percentage is 12.5. So then if it is above 5,000, 10.35. 5,000, 10.35. 10.35. So if it is below 5,000, 8.75%. So I can just say else since this is the last one. Tax equal to the cost multiplied by 8.75 divided by 100. Oh no, 100. So that is it basically. If I should run this and I say the cost of the bike is say, okay, I've not printed, let me just enter anything here. It will not do anything, so it's supposed to print, calculate the amount to be paid as tax, just the tax. So just print, let's just print tax so we can move on. So let me say 87,020. You see, this is the tax the person is supposed to pay. No, this is 870,000 actually, so you are paying 204,000. Now that is big money. So let's say you are paying 45,000. Let's say 45,000. So you are paying $7,087.05. So depending on the currency, but this is correct. So moving on, write a Python program that will check if a year is a leap year or not. That will check if a year is a leap year or not. So now a leap year is a year that can be divisible by 4, straightforward. So I can say year equal to integer. Year is an integer now. So input what year, or just enter a year. Enter a year. Put some spacing. Then if the year modulus 4 equal to 0, then it's a leap year. Print it is a leap year, else print it is not a leap year. Okay, so int, okay, so if year modulus 4 equal to 0, then it's a leap year, else it's not a leap year. So moving on, 2000 is going to be a leap year because it is divisible by 4. 2001 is not, 2002 is not, 2003 is not, 2004 is a leap year. Run this, put in 2004. No, I want to say 2004. You see, it's a leap year, but if I put say 1997, you see, it's not a leap year. So that is just straightforward. Write a Python program to check if a number entered is 3 digits or not. Write a Python program to check if a number entered is 3 digits or not. There are so many ways you can solve this particular problem. There are so many ways you can solve this particular problem. So one way to solve this particular problem, don't forget, I will first of all accept the number. Oh god, I'm just being lazy. Number equal to int input enter a number. Now, the first way you can test if a number is 3 digits or not, if the number is above 99. If the number is above 99, then obviously, okay, if it is 3 digits or not, if it is 3 digits or not, well, a way we can check is to divide the number by 100. If the result of dividing the number by 100 is greater than equal to 1, or less than 10, yes, it has to be less than 10 or greater than or equal to 1. So if, to be very honest, I see programming as maths. So, well, you don't need to know all the best maths to do programming, but at least you should know the basics. You should know the basics. So for me to check if a number entered is 3 digits, I have to say if number divided by 100, or let me say result equal to number divided by 100. So now if result it has to be greater than or equal to 1, and result must be less than 10, because if you divide a number and you are getting 10 point something, then you know that already 10 times 100 is giving you 1000, so it's already above 3 digits. So if result is less than 10, then print it has 3 digits, else print it has more or less than 3 digits. Okay, so run this, let the user give me one. You see it has more or less, then let me enter 24, more or less. But if I enter 203, you see it has 3 digits. If I enter 600, you see it has 3 digits. So this is working fine. We move on. Write a Python program to check whether a number entered by the user is positive, negative, or 0. So a positive number is a number greater than 0, a negative number is a number less than 0. So copy this, bring it here. Let me use this. Positive, negative, or 0. Okay, let me steal this like I used to. So int input, enter a number. Write a number to check whether a number is okay. So if the number is greater than 0, guess what? Print number is positive. Elif number equal to 0, what do I want to do? Print number is negative. No, 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 is 0 rather. So now in mathematics, in this case now, a number can either be greater than 0, positive, equal to 0, which is just plain 0. Now, if the number is not positive and it is not equal to 0, then obviously it is negative. So this is my else clause. I'll just say print number is negative. Print number is negative. So I think that is it. Print number is negative. If I should run this, I'll say 5 is positive, 0, 0, then negative 7 is what? Negative. Moving on, write a program that will accept the age of 4 people, then display the youngest one and the eldest one and the oldest one. So I'm supposed to accept the age of 4 people. So let me say age 1 equal to what? And I'll calculate. I will take age as an integer, please. Input. So because age is an integer actually. Enter the enter. Let me just say enter age, so I don't prolong the video. So copy. So this is age 2, age 3, age 4. That is age 2, 3, and 4. So now that the user have given me 4 ages, how do I test which one is the eldest? So normally I want to use a list here, but I have to do it manually because at this point, actually that's the best way to do it, to use a list. So let me just use the list. Let me use the list. So I can say ages equal to a list containing age 1, age 2, age 3, age 4. Okay, so I can say for now this is the long route to do this, but it is way more explanatory. For index comma age in enumerate ages, then I'll say if the maximum of age equal to if the maximum of ages rather if the maximum of age is equals to the current age, print, let me see, formatted string age underscore I plus 1 is the eldest. So copy. If the minimum of ages equal to the current age is the minimum. So run this, enter age, let's say 55, 43, 40, and maybe 72. So age 4 is going to be the eldest. Age 4 is the eldest, age 3, which is 40, is the youngest. Okay, so you see, it is working fine. So there are so many better ways to do this thing, but I think it's just better we do it this way. So now write a Python program that will accept the following from the user, then calculate the percentage of days the user went to work. So copy the whole of this, copy. So the next problem we have is this one. Write a Python program to accept the following from the user, then calculate the percentage of days the user went to work. If I have this, okay, so bring this into so int no let me say work days equal to int input, enter the total number of work days, then days, let me say absent days equal to int input, enter the total number of days absent. Okay, so after doing this, what do we want to do? Now we calculate the percentage of days that the user went to work. Percentage of days that the user went to work. So for me to get the number of days the user went to work, so present days equal to work days minus absent days. Okay, then after doing this one, I will now say the percentage of days equal to what? Present days over the total working days, which is the work days basically. Everything multiplied by 100, but actually I can just say multiplied by 100, and this will work just fine. This will work just fine. This will work just fine. So this percentage present days plus 100. Okay, so print this percentage. So what do I want to do? The number of work days, let's say we have 100 work days and you are absent for 30 days, then obviously the percentage of days the user went to work is going to be 70. You can see 70, so it works just fine. So if the total number of work days is still 100, I'm trying to look for a round figure, If the user is absent for 50 days, then obviously it's 50. So that is that about that. A company decides to give bonuses to employees according to the following criteria based on their period of service. Above 10 years, 10%. This is. So the user is to give their. This is not supposed to be there. So the user is to give their salary and their period of service. The program should print their bonus. Okay. So copy this. Okay. So enter no salary equal to float. Money is a float. Input. Enter your salary. Give some spacing. Then how long have you been with us? Period. Equal to well, let me just collect it as an integer. Input for how long have you been with us? So now I can say bonus. I will just initialize it as 0. Then I'll say if this period is above 10. I'm trying to configure this first requirement here. Then what do I want you to do? Bonus equal to 10% of their salary. So that will be 10 over 100, which is basically 0.1, but for simplicity's sake, times the salary. I want it to be as simple as possible. Elif if it is between 6 and 10 years. So copy. Elif if period is greater than 6, greater than or equal to 6, and period is less than or equal to 10, so the bonus is going to be 8. 8. Elif again, period greater than or equal to, if it is less than 6, so I can just say else, then I'll just say 5%. Bonus equal to 5%, so that will be 5 over 100 multiplied by salary. So just print the bonus. Okay, so run this. If the salary is say 10,000, and let's say they've been with the company for 6 years, so 6 years 10,000, so that would be 8%, that would be 800. So 8%, so this is supposed to give us 800. You see 800, so it is working fine. It is working fine. So moving on, write a program to accept two numbers and mathematical operators and perform operations accordingly. It should be two numbers and a mathematical operator. And a mathematical operator. And a mathematical operator. So, well, okay. So write a program to accept two numbers and a mathematical operator and perform the operations accordingly. Okay. So the next thing you want to do is to say x equal to, say, int. Let's just accept that it's integers the users want to give us. Or let me just say a val. So a val is a function that you can use to auto convert to whatever you want to the type is supposed to be. So I can just say a val input, enter a value, enter a number rather. So if the user is giving me an integer or a float, I'm safe. So this will be y. So let me say o equal to, I don't need to evaluate it, I want it to be a string. Okay, so, or let me put this one in the middle to make it more realistic. So x equals to eval input, enter a number. So o equals to input, enter an operator. Enter an operator. So o equal to input, enter an operator. Y equal to eval input, also enter a number. So I can typecast to an integer or float directly. So with this, now I can say z equal to eval str of x plus str, oh, plus o plus str of y. So print z. So enter a number, 4, enter an operator, plus enter a number, 5. You see it is giving me 9. 4 plus 5 equals to 9. Let us run it again before I explain what is happening. So let me say 7 multiplied by 22, 154. Now I can pass in a string to this eval function, and if the string is representing a mathematical operation, it will just evaluate it and return what the response is supposed to be. This eval function is smart enough in so many ways to do what is supposed to be done. For example, in this case, I was using it to typecast from either integer or float to the corresponding data type. At this point, I was using it to make a calculation. Normally, this is going to be a concatenation operation if I want to print this directly. For example, let me say print, no, print this. This is going to be a concatenation operation if I want to print this directly. So let me say 6 minus 7. You can see this is the operation over here. It is just a regular string, but since I passed this string into a val, it evaluated it directly for me and I have my response. So we move on. Write a Python program to accept percentage and display the category according to the criteria below. So we've done a lot of this already. Okay, below 40 and 55, between 55 and 65. So accept percentage and display the category. Let me say float, or let me just accept it as an integer. Input, enter the percentage. So below 40, let me start from 65, so I'll just work my way downwards. If percentage is above 65, print what? Excellent. So elif percentage is between 65 and 55, so let me say greater than or equal to 55, print good. Elif percentage greater than equal to 40, print fair, but as I say else, just print field. Okay, so run this, enter 70. You see it is giving me excellent, but if I enter 60, you see it's giving me good. Enter 42, it's giving me fair. And the last one, let's say 25, failed. So that is working fine as well. So write a Python program to accept the electric unit in kilowatt hour usage from the user, then calculate the bill according to the following fees breakdown. So let me say I'll accept the input as an integer here. So let me say units equal to int input, enter the consumed units. Okay, so now that I've accepted the consumed units, I'll check um let me say fee. I will initialize fee to 0. So I'll start solving this problem like this. If you take a good look at these tariffs over here, the first 100 kilowatt hour is free. The next 100 kilowatt hour is 500 naira per unit. The next 200 is 725 naira per unit. Then the next 200 kilowatts is 800 naira per unit. Any kilowatt hours left will be calculated at 950 naira per unit. Okay, so what I will do, what I will do is I will start working my way down from the top. So if you look at what I have over here, this is 100, this is 100, making how much? 200. So plus 200, that's 400. Plus 200, that is 600. So basically, any kilowatt hour after 600 is going to be calculated at 950 per unit. Okay, so what I will do is, if the unit entered by the user is greater than 600, so what I will do is I will say the temporary equal to the number of units that we have minus 600. So basically, the number of units that we are going to bill at charge at 950 naira per unit is this temporary over here. We are going to be charging it at 950 naira per unit. So the fee will be plus equal to temp multiplied by 950. So we will now say unit minus equal to temp, because basically what I'm doing with this first line is that I'm trying to get the total number of units I'm going to be calculating at 950. And you can see what I have over here. It is any unit after the first 600 that is going to be billed at 950 per unit. So I first of all try to calculate the number of units that I'll be billing at 950. Then I now said fee, which is zero initially, plus equal to that temporary unit times 950. Now, since they've paid for this temp over here, now I have to remove it from the unit. You understand? So they don't pay for it twice. So after this if statement over here, I'll come and write another if statement. This is not where you use if else. This is where you use standalone ifs. So since I've calculated for 950 now, I can now come and calculate for 800 naira per unit. So if the unit is more than 100, 200, 600, any unit above 600 is going to be calculated at 800 per unit. You understand? At more than 400 rather. 400. So this will be temp equals to unit minus 400. Then I'm going to be calculating at 800. So this will be 80. 80. So the next one, any unit above 200 is going to be calculated at what? 725. So I'll come here. So this will be 725. So after doing that, so now every unit above 100 kilowatt is 500 naira per unit. So above 100, so this should be one. That'll be 500 naira per unit. 5. So for the first 100 kilo, normally what we will do is, if it is greater than 0 or something, then we will now calculate, but since it is free, there is no point, so we just leave it like this. So now let's test. If I have 150, let me just bring up a calculator here. Calculator. Okay, so if I say, if for example I consumed 150 units, so for this first 100 kilowatt hour it's going to be free, so I have 50 left, so I'm going to be paying 50 times 500. So 50 times 500 equal to 25,000. So come here and I have to print fee. Print fee. So if I consumed 150, you see I'm having 25,000. 25,000. So if I consumed, for example, let's say 250. So this is 200 already. So I'm going to be paying 500 times 100. That will be 50,000 plus. So I'm going to be paying 725 for 50 units. So let me say 725 plus 50. 725 plus 50 equal to what? 755. So, but for 200, I'm going to be paying, for the first 200 units, I'm going to be paying what? 50,000. So that will be plus 50,000. So 50,755. So come here and enter 250. 250. There is an error somewhere. There's an error somewhere here. Okay. There's a way we can troubleshoot it. Price, print, build, print, formatted string, build how much should I build? I build temp multiplied by 950 on temp units. So copy, so this will be 500, this will be 725, this will be 800, and this, okay, so enter the units. For 150 you calculated right, 25,000, but for 250, so for 150, okay, this is the 50,000 billing. So on the remaining 50 units, which is around here, 725, 725 times 50 is what? AC 725 times 50, 36,250. Okay, 36,250. Okay, this is actually correct. This is actually correct. So I didn't calculate it very well here. So this is actually correct. 36,250 on 5,000 plus 5,000 we give 86,000. Okay, I think I made a mistake. So if I'm going to be billing, for example, 700 units, so I'm going to be paying um, I'm going to be paying 100 units for this. Let's run it. So 700. You see, I'm paying 100 for at 95,000, which is this 950 over here. So everything will be 450,000. I'm paying for electricity. So this is very correct. This is correct. So we move on to accept the marks of math, English, science, and social studies from the user, then display the allotted stream according to the following criteria. Okay, this is going to be the last one. Accept the marks of all these ones. So let me say m equal to int input enter math score. So I'll copy this, enter math score. This is English, science, which is S, then let me say SS or SO, social studies. Okay, so now if all subject is greater than 80 each, then go to science. So for all the score to be greater than for all the scores to be greater than 80 each. Okay, so that would be if m is greater than 80 and e is greater than 80 and s is greater than 80 and so is greater than 80. What do I want to do? Print no, print science batch. Elif. So if the English, which is E, is greater than 80, math plus science greater than 50, greater than 50, and m greater than 50 and s greater than 50. That's the only criteria. So print commercial batch. Elif English is greater than 80 and SO is greater than 80, SO is greater than 80, then go to humanities. Humanities batch. Run this. So let's test for the first one, 80 each. So let me say 92, 34, 103, um, let me say more than 80 each, 88. There is something wrong. If m is greater than 80, which it is, okay, the second one is 34. That's a mistake I made. I'm supposed to add some space in here to make it look neater. So let me see, 88, 86, 92, 99. You see, science batch. So this works just fine. Let us do for humanities. So for humanities, they need only English and social studies to be more than 80. So let's say maths score is 12, and English 88. Um, Science is maybe 55. Then social studies 92. You see, humanities. So it's working just fine. So it's been a very long video. So thank you very much for staying till the end. It's been a very long one. So these are the questions over here. It will be in the description below if you want to go through them. So the this particular document has so many other questions for Python beginners that will be updated from time to time, and the link to this particular document will also be in the description below. So thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.